All right, you magical creatures. All right, we're going to do some introductions here and get going with the Zach Namath, which I didn't even realize he put that up there. That's pretty funny. But last show and this show just happened for us. This thumb pops up, thumbs up, pops up on the screen, and I'm not touching the screen.
Here's my hands. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like somebody's.
Well,
something
you know, exactly. I think it's coming in from elsewhere.
Yeah,
and it's just going, guys, thumbs up.
Okay, so this is the great Mark Puttenvink, Patriot Training Systems.
Tom, can you hold on one second? It's a car plate. Hold on.
So that is the great Mark Puttenvink. He's put up Zach Namath, I think, in reference to Zach Jones. Or Zach.
Okay, I'll be back.
What's his name? Zach. I can't remember Zach's last name. What's Zach's last name? I can't. You got me thinking name.
I knew that was going to happen. I dropped off my car to get the oil change. I knew as soon as we got on that they'd call, say the car's ready. But anyhow.
So what's his last name? I can't remember. Zach what?
Wilson.
How did I forget that? So he played a good game yesterday.
Oh, and you know what's weird, Tom? Like the first half, 0-0, 11 punts.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm saying to myself, and I've said this to you before, NFL should be embarrassed putting that product out there. And then all of a sudden, this kid comes out.
I know.
And he's the second coming to Joe Montana.
And we were talking before, you know what it is, in fairness to him, like you and I have never spoken to him, but we have this impression just by looking at his mannerisms, his facial expression, he's just a punk. Now, you know what? He could be a good kid, just a young, immature kid.
He just has that face. And I thought maybe he was uncoachable. You know how you get that kid, like when you're trying to coach him and they're thinking, hey, buddy, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Screw off.
Well, and I do believe the story. The story goes that somehow or another, he and his agents got together and decided it'd be better off not to play anymore this year. That he's told, there's a big report out of Utah, some really reputable guy out there says that he was told he was going to get traded during the summer. Mm-hmm. So apparently the coach called up Aaron Rodgers and said, listen, you got to get to your guy here. Like, cause he found out that the kids was saying he's not going to play anymore. And then Rodgers said to him, listen, you got to go back in the office and tell him that's your plan. That's it. And that's the story I hear. Kind of makes sense.
I believe it because Rodgers has been fairly public with saying management screwed this kid up.
Yeah. And you know, and you look like you go back to Mark Sanchez, Aaron Donald, all these guys. Yeah. Sam Darnold. Yeah.
I mean, he was supposed to be the next great thing too.
Yeah.
And you got to believe Aaron Rodgers has a really positive influence on this kid.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I like the way Rodgers has handled himself, like the things he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So
I only knew him from Green Bay and Allstate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And what was it, Jeopardy he was on too? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that an active NHL quarterback was on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
NFL, yes. NFL. Yeah. Man. Okay, this thumb thing is really getting to me here. So we've done all these shows. I've done hundreds of shows.
Yeah.
And that's the first time this thumb just pops up randomly.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I just think it's StreamYard saying, hey, guys,
great job.
Great, man. Yeah.
Great job. Yeah. Spreading the word throughout the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about the game? So did you see the Kansas City game?
Yeah. Mahomes had a meltdown apparently.
Yeah. Well, and the guy that Tony, who was a Jet, was he a Jet or Giant? I can't remember.
I forget.
Yeah, the wide receiver. He lined up so far offside, wasn't even close.
I know.
Like, and they're saying, well, just let the players play. Well, what was the other team going to say if you don't make the call, right? He was so far offside. But great play, though. But how would play by Kelsey throw the backward pass? Oh, man.
Early on, I saw, I think it was one of the defensive linemen screaming at the coach on the sideline.
Oh.
Really animated.
Oh.
So there's some stuff going on there. You know.
Yeah, it just seems like Kansas City's off a little bit, right?
But part of me says you want to see guys really angry because that means they're dialed into what's going on out there.
Totally, they don't care. Yeah. Tony was. It was so Tony, the wide receiver, was a Giant, high pick too. He was a pretty high pick, and they traded him away. Just wasn't working out with the Giants.
So go ahead. Man.
No, go ahead. You go.
No, I was going to switch to the Rangers and those uniforms last night. When I was turning game on, I go, why is Columbus out there?
Oh.
And LA, come on, can you get rid of those helmets, man? They're awful.
Silver, I know.
They are awful.
The black and silver, when we first changed, when Gretzky got to the team, we had the purple and gold before. Went to black and silver. That was cool. Yeah.
But that silver is brutal.
I know. Who makes those decisions? Like, I guess it's the marketing department or something, right?
Yeah. You know, the Albany River Rats in '95 when I was helping Robbie up there, they had behind the Oakland Raiders, the second leading merchandise sales in professional sports. This was a really cool. I don't know if you remember, it was the rat.
Yeah.
And then on the T-shirt, the back was the tail coming out, like from
Right.
the whole.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So our boy Ron Jameson, glorious veteran up there in Buffalo, New York, he's not too happy with the NHL. Was there a bunch of bad stuff happening, Ron? I haven't seen that. I know Trouba like smacked the guy in the face the other day with the stick, but he apologized and everything, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, the refereeing is going to always be an issue.
I know,
because it's a human thing. And
yeah.
I just, like I think it all evens out, the good calls and the bad calls over a period of time. It's just when they occur. But like you and I have discussed that the first time the Islanders won a cup, Bobby Nystrom was at least 3 feet offside on the winning goal.
Yeah, but you're never. I don't. For me, I see why people are trying to make it perfect. First of all, you're right. It's never going to be perfect. It's human error, and I just just accept it. That's part of the game. I don't doesn't bother me.
So I don't know if Ron's speaking to that, but I guess it was a big brawl between. The Sens had a big brawl. Remember where the referee said everybody
that's right, yeah.
Ice, you're
Everybody's got 10 minutes. I've never heard that before. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then I think the Bruins had a little get together, and then Panthers and so. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I don't. It's funny. You look back at the game. Like I watched some old videos of showing a friend some old videos, fight videos, and everything. And the game was barbaric back when we played. It was a bunch of heathens out there.
Yeah, it's changed. It's definitely changed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, you put up a game from the 70s, and if you were a referee today, the whistle wouldn't stop.
Yeah,
and to that point. When I'm going back 20 years ago, but when I trained guys, we did a lot of resistance work, replicating along the wall, being hooked and being pulled and all that kind of stuff. Nowadays, your stick doesn't even have to touch them as long as it's parallel. It's a call. So, the game's changed. It's a quick game, and you remove the red line, and it's difficult.
And you think you go back to the 70s, 80s, people complained about the referee back then and all this stuff. People are always going to complain about refereeing.
I mean, who was it? Was it who got Sandstrom? Was it Dave Brown?
Yeah, cross-checking man.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that happened out there.
Was his nickname really Endangered?
No, we never called him that. No,
that was a rumor we had heard.
Oh, really?
Like his endangered species, because he played on the edge. Yeah.
And he practiced the same way when he first came up. And he didn't speak English at all. We hated him at first. And I hate to say that because he ended up being one of the best teammates ever had.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Great guy. Great team player, fought through injuries and stuff. But man, he competed. And so he kept the practice. Sure. And he back then, most guys didn't fire high shots at goalies in practice.
Right.
Didn't matter to him.
He's ripping it.
I'll never forget. I've told the story before when Glennie Hanlon chased him around the rink a couple of times in practice.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Well, we had one of those team meetings, where everybody in the room says, we're playing well. So everybody go around the circle. Everybody, what do you think? What we should do different? And Mike McEwen was on the team. Great guy. But
Mike.
We called him Cue Ball. He was just like a spacey guy.
He's out there. Yeah.
So we got to him. He was almost to the last guy to say something. He said, "Listen, I just show up and do my job every day. That's So
it's interesting.
But we all kind of like, okay, that's Cue Ball. It doesn't make a big deal. But Glennie Hanlon already, this is back in the day where people really hadn't accepted all the Swedish players yet.
Yeah. So
we get to Thomas at the end. He goes, he didn't understand what McEwen said. He just, I agree with him. So Glennie starts flipping out. We're just about to go on the ice for practice, and he goes, "I'm effing Swede." And he's saying to me, Tommy, he says, Tiger. He's a big fan of Tiger Williams. Tiger Williams never allowed this to happen. So we go on the ice, and Thomas comes down and shoots one. He's oblivious at this point. He goes down and shoots one at Glennie's head. He wasn't going for his head, but he shot a high shot. So Glennie races out, drops the glove, stick, helmet, and everything, chases Thomas dancing around, "You chicken Swede," and all this kind of stuff. Now, meanwhile, Teddy Sater's the coach, and his wife is Swedish as well. So Glennie's lost his mind. So now we get him all settled down. You're back in the net. About 10 minutes later, Thomas comes down again, and this time he fires one at Glennie's head on purpose. And so Glennie's out of the net again. Yeah, I think they had to throw Glennie off practice. They throw him out of the ice. He's a funny man. Good stuff.
See, Mike Rogers was the trivia answer yesterday.
Oh,
I guess Panarin tied him for some assists in a row or some kind of
right.
Yeah.
We just did a podcast on Full Change podcast with Mike Rogers, and we were really good buddies. Remember the old Coho sticks that have like the red
red
tape? Yeah. So I would get and usually Mike was okay with this because he had lots of sticks. So I would get his sticks and I would saw about 2/3 of the way through, right in that line there.
Spot.
So Mike was he was in a bad mood. He only had like 3 sticks in the rack, so I got all 3 sticks, and So, and he's in a bad mood, and he breaks the first one. Now everybody knows what's going on, right? And they know he's in a bad mood, so people are just dying laughing. And he goes, gets another stick, goes back out again, and breaks another one. He says, "If you cut all my sticks, I am leaving practice." So he goes, gets the last one, and snaps. Oh God, he had to leave practice because he didn't have any sticks left.
Yeah, sticks.
Oh,
they were great sticks, man.
Yeah.
Everybody used those.
Yeah.
They started off in Europe, right? All the Russians used them.
Yeah. Cool.
Soviets, actually, yeah. But they were great sticks. Yeah.
That's funny stuff. Let me see here. Susan Brooks, what do you got here for us? The Bretson, you attacked Nick Cousins in Florida. Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. And you know what Ron might be also talking to the other night in, I guess it was in Nashville. There was at the end of the period, and the kid took a clapper and aimed right at a player.
I saw that.
I'd have to kind of jump that guy. I mean, that's kind of,
yeah.
What are you doing? I mean,
I've seen that before. Dave
Schultz, he was behind. I mean, thought about it, but you don't do it.
I know. I've seen it happen a few times though, where guys have done it. But that's when you look at the guy like, what? Like, what are you thinking about?
I mean, I've seen guys shoot at a ref or a linesman.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? So I was up at West Point years ago. Buffalo was playing New Jersey in a preseason game, and Buffalo, Phil Russell got traded to Buffalo, and he didn't like Doug Carpenter at all.
Oh.
And it was a play. So Buffalo's in his zone, and it pops out. So it was a regroup, and Rusty went to put it back in, but he fired it right at Carpenter's head on the bench.
On the bench? The coach?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right at him. Yeah.
Who was it? Daniel Alfredson shot at somebody for Toronto. He was the captain of Ottawa. He shot at somebody. There's been a few times I've seen it happen. Dave Schultz, one of my first games pro in New Haven, Dave Schultz got sent down to Rochester, and Mike Backman was back checking on Schultz, and he's hammering him on the arms and everything. Schultz just got fed up, turned around and shoot. Now remember, this is one of my first pro games. It's like a scene from Slapshot, and he turns around to fire one at Backy, and Backy ended up, he was between Schultz and our bench. So if Schultz missed Backman, the puck's going to go in the bench. We're all ducking and hiding on the bench the other way. Oh, funny stuff. Funny stuff. What do we got here? Let me see. Good healing wishes, Tony. Yeah, he's diagnosed. I see he's stepping away. He was doing the TV for.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awful.
What a good guy. What a competitor he was, too.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow. Sister was a real good player, too.
Yeah. She got married to Ray Ferraro, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Ray Ferraro. Brian Boucher, we did a podcast with him, and he's an old client of mine, and he does all these imitations. He does like great, and he does like Dominic Hasek is fantastic. Shel Samuelson, he used to play for the Flyers.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic Ray Ferraro. Like if you were not paying attention, you would think he was really.
You really think it's him? Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
He'll just watch TV or something, see the guy, and he'll pick up all the mannerisms.
That's a skill set. For sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And to be, he got me one time. I was representing him, and he was playing in Philly, and they had a guy working for one of the Philly papers. Oh, I can't remember his name now. And Tim Panaccio, and he had a pretty good distinctive voice too. So Bush had gotten his voice down. So we're in the middle of negotiations, and Panaccio's, calling me, wanting to get the scoops on what's happening. So I'm trying to be the professional agent, not telling too much and everything. So Bush calls me on the phone. I'm driving to see Bush, and he starts doing this Tim Panaccio thing. Now, I really think I'm talking to Tim Panaccio. So I'm giving it this speed. Now, Bush doesn't know that I'm thinking he thinks that I know it's him. Yeah. So, man, he's going on and he starts dying laughing. He says, "Tom, this is Bush. This isn't Tim Panaccio." And I didn't believe him at first. I said no. So I made him call me back again so I could see the number pop up on the screen.
I had something not quite the same, but I'm going back years ago. But Bruce Driver got into this mountain biking to the point where he was doing like 50-mile races and, all this kind of stuff. So he's always after me to go. I go, "Bruce, I'll keep up with you for 10 minutes. And then, what's the point?" Right. So I got off the phone with him talking about something different. And 2 minutes later, a writer calls. I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Which one of your buddies is calling me?" Right.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, we're doing an article on the Tour de France." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "So we just want to know what you think about like the metabolic issues and training and all that." And I'm being a total ass to this guy because I'm just figuring Driver put the guy up to it. But the guy was legit. And Driver didn't even know, like, there was no connection at all. It was just the timing of the phone calls.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny. He does the Dominic Hasek Bush does run. He does. He's a few of them too. He's good at. Just on Barry Beck here, everybody. So I think he goes in for surgery tomorrow. I'll give him another message. But so he's getting his
Yeah,
prostate.
see, somebody just took a job there too as an assistant. Who was it?
Where's that?
In China,
Oh,
in Beijing, because that's where Barry was.
yeah. Oh, he's in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah. Who it was? Look on me.
But our buddy Barry's not too tough. He's tough times. His son, involved in the Mark Pavey stuff, lost his mother. Now the prostate. So
rains of pores, man.
I know, right? What if I've told so many times? I think some of the old stories with Barry. What a funny man too.
Yeah,
man. There's a lot of, I didn't realize looking back now how much pressure he was probably under. Because remember they got into the finals of '79.
Yeah.
Then the next year they traded. It was 5 players in total. Three of them off the team. A couple of minor leaguers for Barry. And then he becomes captain, and he was expected to fight everybody, score power play goals, and he did.
It was a huge trade. I remember hearing it. It was during the summer. I was on the way down the shore. I was like, "We got Barry back."
Yeah,
because it was McEwen, Hickey, Deblois, Joe Zanuzzi, and
the cowhead Dean Turner.
Dean Turner.
Yeah. He had a bigger head than I did. Yeah, yeah, cowhead.
Cowhead.
One of the funniest guys. I played with Mark Hardy out in LA. He had a big head as well, and I've got a huge melon too. So we used to laugh at each other. Yeah, Mark went through some tough times there too. Both he and his wife.
Yeah, he had some stuff going on there. That was kind of
weird. He's apparently now he's off the drinking, and that was the problem.
Mm-hmm. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Yes, yeah, and I didn't realize that his wife. They were a fantastic couple. Nice people too.
Yeah, he's. I've seen him on Facebook.
That's right. My ex-girlfriend wanted to have both babies.
Probably were a lot of ex-girlfriends that wanted.
Yeah. Oh man, he's good, big-looking guy. Big, he was muscle too. Oh, jacked.
He was jacked.
Yeah, funny guy. So, how was your weekend?
Good. I did my training and whatnot. I'm always kind of killing time doing some research.
Yeah.
And so, you know what the mitochondria is? That's like the powerhouse of the cell.
Okay. I did not know that, but I do know.
Yeah. So if you look at it that way, the cell, the mitochondria is like your little furnace, right?
Okay. In each cell?
In each cell.
Oh, okay.
Every cell in your body. Yeah. And it's a regulator, getting glucose in, glucose out, ATP for energy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So apparently, I knew the benefits of high intensity training, very brief, but I didn't quite understand the mechanisms involved.
Sure.
So if you think your mitochondria is in every cell in your body, including your organs, it would make sense that the more mitochondria you have and the healthier mitochondria have, the greater health you will have.
Okay.
So one of the things that I discovered looking through some stuff, and it was Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's on YouTube, and she's really brilliant. And she brought up this issue called mitochondria biogenesis, which just means through intense exercise, you're going to increase healthy mitochondria through your body. And they've actually done some study, and I'll send it to you to read. It's pretty interesting, where they've had a 50-year-old guy who has been sedentary most of his life. Maybe works in a desk or whatever, sedentary guy. And they introduced him to a protocol of high intensity, very brief, like 4-minute workouts. I think once a week, and then some 3 other just moderate intensity exercises. Anyhow, when they did the after study on these people, they found out that the heart was like a 20 years difference in health. So instead of a 50-year-old heart, he had a 30-year-old heart through this process of increasing the mitochondria. So it's so simple. And this is what I love. Again, it's 4 minutes. And it's
so high intensity for the full 4 minutes?
4 minutes. And I did it this morning. I've done it over the years. And I try to get it in. And sometimes I'll get it in without realizing I'm doing it, especially when you're doing like a boxing workout, because it's pretty brief, it's intense, and you get arrested. Sure. But the way this works is it's 20 seconds of really intense work. So I did kettlebell swings as fast as I could, safely, and then 10 seconds of rest, and then you go again. But it's for 8 evolutions, which is 4 minutes. And let me tell you, obviously your heart rate gets really jacked. And so what's great about this, Tom, obviously, is the fact that, if you're in your office, because you're not going to break a sweat, you get right to where you're just about to break a sweat. But if you do 4 minutes in your office with a kettlebell, with a dumbbell, body weight squats, whatever it is, there's no longer any excuse why you can't get it done.
Right.
And what's intense for you is going to be different for me as for the next person. So it's all relative where your fitness
and you can
level
change
is.
that up a little bit, right? Like you could do like a 30 second, minute off,
Well, no, well, you can, but you're better off sticking to that. The research
Gotcha.
shows that it's so there's two variables: 20 seconds, 10 seconds on, or wind gate, which is really intense. And wind gate is 30 seconds with resistance, as hard as you can go, and then a 4-minute break. But you do 6 evolutions of that, so it takes about a half hour.
Gotcha.
The Wingate test, I don't know if they did it when you were around.
Is that what that was back then on the bike?
Yeah, that's a brutal test.
Man, I hated that. Oh,
yeah, brutal test.
Yeah. Wow.
But so there's 2 ways to do it. I would probably, for most people, stick with the Tabata before you attempt the Wingate, because the Wingate's really brutal.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But again, so what are we talking about?
Right.
Very brief periods of time.
Right.
And you get so much accomplished.
Great way to burn. Isn't that a great way to burn fat too when the heart rate goes up and down like that?
Oh yeah. So there's another byproduct is it really jacks up. So really the mechanism there, Tom, is the glucose or the if you want to look at it as the fuel in your cell, you burn it up throughout that period of time.
Right.
You're done. It's gone. So for the rest of the day, the only source you have for energy is fat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. You are just a fountain of knowledge, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Fountains.
Here's our brother. Here's our brother, Big Keith. Last time I did Mark's leg workouts, I want to saw my legs out.
That's funny. That is a workout. I forget where I got it, but so the way it works is you do 20 body weight squats, and you walk 10 yards, and you do 1 squat jump.
There's that thumb up.
That's Keith.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
My hands are totally away from that, man. Okay.
So you do 20 body weight squats. You walk 10 yards. You do 1 squat jump. You walk back. You do 19 body squats. You walk back. You do 2. So it's inverse. And when you hit 10, you stop.
Right.
So when you hit 10 squats, 10 squat jumps. Well, the first time I did it, I didn't quite understand it. Right. And I went from 0 to 20. Oh. So I went 20 squats down to 0 and up to 20 squat jumps.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever done 20 squat jumps, especially after you just did 19, 18, 7. It's brutal. I forget. It took me like 12 minutes. Tom, I'm not kidding you. It took me, because this was in the dead of the summer. I was on a field. A good 45 minutes before I stopped sweating.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 days later, I was crippled. I couldn't walk.
Okay. How do you get away from even like somebody's starting to train, and very often they'll push it too hard or whatever, they'll get the sore legs or sore muscles. How can you stay away from that? Just do less?
Yeah. So, well, there's, Tim Mack, who I respect, he was a Delta Force guy, and he's really taking it to conditioning and training and stuff. And he says 70%, like bring yourself to 70% and then stop. Right. But this particular workout, because I did it wrong, I went way past that.
Gotcha.
If you go to 10 and 10, you'll get a little bit of DOMS, so the delayed onset of muscle soreness. But what I did, I just crushed it. I mean, I went to complete failure. I mean, it's good to do that. I mean, Nathan did it. And Nathan's a big guy, right?
Right.
My buddy, you know Nathan.
Yeah.
And he called me back. He was, that wasn't so bad. 2 days later, he was every swear word on a man. He was,
especially when it's your legs too, right? Yeah.
Oh God. And it wasn't going upstairs. It was coming down.
Yeah.
Because your glutes and your hamstrings are involved. And I was like, oh my! I was like crawling down the steps.
Pittsburgh's power play is 0 for 37. I do not recall anybody being that bad, especially with the players they have on that team too.
They got a lot of hot skill there with
Crosby, Malkin, Letang.
Yeah.
Larson's there.
That's got to be a coaching issue.
Carlson Larson. What's that defenseman that was in San Jose and in Ottawa? Is it Carlson?
Not sure. Yeah. Carlson. Yeah.
Carlson, he's there now too.
So you got 2 Hall of Fame D-men.
Yeah.
Between Letang and Carlson.
I know.
So that's got to be a coaching issue.
I'm not a Carlson fan though. I know he's got tremendous skill. Just something about, he's kind of got that that's a lazy game. I don't know. There's something about him that I just don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate his game. I guess what it comes down to, like, certain guys are gonna. That's who they are.
Yeah. You wonder if there's just not enough pucks out there for him, because all those guys handle the puck well.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. Yeah. Sometimes you got to dumb it down and put a plug out there. Yeah. Was going to, remember Warren, what was the kid's name that scored 40 goals when he was playing left? Warren Young.
Yeah.
He had never scored 40 in any other universe.
No way. Yeah. You got to give him credit, right? He did it, but I remember thinking, man, that kid's.
With Mario, just go to the net.
Yeah. What do we got here? I wanted to say hi. I've been from Complete Soldier shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, what was that, a labrum, rotator cuff, or all the above?
Was there somebody else had shoulder surgery too? Or was that,
I don't know, but
maybe just
I'm trying to avoid it because it's bad.
I had shoulder surgery when
Can't
I was in
sleep.
college. Oh, was it bad? Yours is? Oh.
Yeah, my labrum, my right.
Is a labrum something that's fairly new, like over the last 20 years or whatever? Or is it always?
Well, I mean, it's always been there. So the epidemiology is, if it's an injury due to a sport or a movement, it's before you're 35. When you get older, it's just life. Everybody.
No, but I mean,
everybody
just the whole term labrum and everything. I thought it was something that was kind of newly, like in the last 20, 25 years or something. That was
probably the diagnosis of it
So it
is
is?
better because MRIs. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Because generally speaking, rotator cuff injuries have been predominant, especially any kind of overhead movement with throwing. Baseball players, very common rotator cuff injury. Football too.
Is that Tommy John surgery? What's that? Is that
That was the elbow.
the elbow?
Yeah.
How about that Shohei Ohtani getting like $700 million for 10 years?
Can you imagine? Can you
Well,
imagine?
And
Close to
it's all guaranteed too, so he can just pull the shoot and
yeah. He's a freak.
yeah.
Just a freak of nature, that
But
kid.
didn't he just have Tommy John surgery?
That I don't know.
Yeah, he got injured at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So
I'm as huge a Met fan I am, and my friend Brad is going to be not happy with me. I couldn't name 3 guys on the team.
I know.
Yeah.
I used to be a big baseball fan. We went back with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We
Yeah.
are family.
Willie Stargell.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
The Mets of
Don-
'86.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
seemed
go
like
back
there's
to the
more
Mets.
colorful then. Like it was more characters, like Reggie Jackson playing.
Yeah. Well, I think also you would agree with all sports because the guys make so much money now. I play for Pittsburgh, but I'm the franchise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
You
yeah.
would know that. I mean, as an agent,
Yeah.
former agent.
Yeah. Can you imagine $700 million for 10 years? $70 million a year. Oh,
Yeah. So that's. Remember,
Wow.
Bobby Holik showed me this. So he was making what, $8 million a year? I
Yeah.
guess? And he showed me a check every 2 weeks after taxes.
Yeah.
After taxes, his net was like $350,000 twice a month.
Well, oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Oof, man, that's the most I've ever made in a career, or 1 year in my career.
Can you imagine?
330,000 I made 1 year. Wow. I know it is scary. The
Yeah.
money, I think back to when we played. Like my first salary was $60,000. I had a $25,000 signing bonus. I thought I was the king of the hill.
King.
Oh yeah.
Well, you were.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's all relative. Yeah.
Stopped. Was going up to New Haven. Stopped at a car dealership on 95. Walked out
Give me
there.
one of those.
Yeah. About 15 minutes later, bought a Camaro Z28.
Did you ever hear
Oh,
the story? This is FU money too. So Mike Tyson's driving down to Atlantic City to go to a fight, right?
Yeah.
To watch a fight.
Yeah.
And he's driving his Lambo. I guess he get tired of shifting gears.
Yeah.
So he pulls off the parkway or wherever he was on, pulls into a Cadillac dealer.
Yeah.
And he says, listen, give me something. So he buys the car cash. And he goes out. And this is a true story. 19-year-old kid looking at the Lambo. Wow, really? He goes, you like the car? He goes, yeah, it's a really sweet car. He goes, it's yours. Here. He throws the key. Says, take it. It's yours.
Who was
That's
this again? Who was
Mike
that?
Tyson.
Oh wow.
That's FU money. That's
Yeah.
like, at the time he had it. Before Robin Givens
Oh, that's right.
kind of broke into the bank.
That's right. Robin Givens. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, if you were a PK, what would you do for promotions? PK Subban, I'm assuming you're talking about. What would I do for promotions? No disrespect, but I just wouldn't act like PK.
Yeah. Not a fan of his.
Yeah, again, listen, I give him credit in one regard that while he was playing, he was concentrating on his life after the career. So he's doing getting his brand built up and marketing and all that. But that's what killed his career too. I mean, now he still walked away making lots of money, won a Norris Trophy, but the last part of his career was just like,
Yeah, he kind of pulled the chute there a bit in New Jersey. He
Yeah.
didn't do
and
really
all the slew footing, like it was just like,
that was bad.
yeah,
No need for it because the guy's incredibly talented.
that's the truth. Yeah.
You know who I enjoy, and I don't get a lot of chance to see him because he's in Minnesota, but I was at a game in New York a couple of years ago, and the little guy, the D-man, Brent
I know who you're talking about too. Yeah.
Spurgeon.
Yeah.
What a smart player.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he angles guys off and let's really enjoy watching this game.
We had Dallas Drake. We did a podcast with on Full Change, and he played in Detroit when Nick Lidstrom was there.
Yeah.
Lidstrom, I maybe because a lot of people didn't see him play as much. Man, he was good though. I know there's Bobby Orr and there's Larry Robinson and
Different kind of game.
Yeah, man, skilled, smart angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Well, what was it like playing with Larry? I mean,
yeah, great, unbelievable. You know what? It was his talent, obviously, but it's his attitude about the game. Like he just loved it. Like at practice, like a little kid. He was like,
I was really very lucky to be on the ice with him in Albany because it's during a lockout.
Yeah, yeah.
So Jacques was up there, and Larry and Jacques Caron worked with Dunham and the other goaltender. I forget his name right
now.
Yeah. But anyhow, in like 5 minutes, I learned more than I ever could imagine to learn.
Yeah.
Just about, staying on your feet, don't go down because you're opening up holes, point your stick at the puck. It sounds so simple, but it really.
We talk about Barry Beck before doing everything. Larry Robinson could do everything too.
Yeah.
And he was just incredible. And, really good lessons for life too. Like he was not afraid. He'd come around the back of our net in our zone and fire it right up the middle of the ice, trying to get somebody on a breakaway. Yeah. And they would get picked off, and the other team would go in and score. Wouldn't stop a bit. He'd just go right back and do the same thing over.
And people forget the amount of room that you guys had behind the net. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Man, he was good. And just like I said, he had so much fun playing the game. I've told it over and over, so I won't repeat the story. There she is, the magical creature.
Beth, say hello to Tom.
Hi, Beth. How are you? So at the time he started talking to me at center ice, we're both captains. He's on Montreal. I'm with the Rangers at the time. And he's giving me a hard time. He's shaking my chain. What is going on? We're at the center ice of Montreal Forum, and Larry Robinson, who I just idolized, starts chirping me. And I remember the referee looking at me, just dying laughing because he could tell by the look on my face. It's like, I can't believe that just happened. Larry Robinson talking to me. So, yeah.
Some of the chirps I'm sure you've heard them all, but I love when somebody gets called up and it's a tough guy. And, hey, enjoy fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there's some good lines back then too. Some stuff you can't even repeat. Some of the stuff you can't even say now. But
Theo was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, he had the best chirps ever.
Well, it was one of the best ones. Like John McClain was really good too. And
Johnny Mac was very good.
He got me one time. I said something to him, and then he said, "Who'd you to still be in the league?" I think he said to me, and it was one of those lines where he says it to you like, "What's the comeback? You can't."
I know. You know what? You're right.
He was good. He was good. Johnny Mac.
Yeah.
What's he doing now? Is he still in the Jersey area?
He's coaching somewhere. I don't know. He's I forget where, but I think he's still coaching in the league. Yeah, he trained with me a whole bunch of summers, and like when he went to what's his name, Muckler sent him up to Manitoba.
Oh,
and then he signed with San Jose, and
Muckler sent as a player. He sent him up to Manitoba.
Oh, he hated McLean. He said he was the laziest hockey player he had ever seen.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but he also said about Manny Malhotra, he'll never be anything other than a third liner. He had a way of really.
Yeah, he told Ron Gresser he'd never play in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't really put too much into what Muckler says.
All right, Ronnie Jameson, our boy. Speaking of breakout passes, did you learn angles or just short off the boards? Oh, no. I have my junior coach. I've told the story many times. Rick Hay, who I spoke to the other day. He's in the hospital. Yeah. He only has a few days left. Made a huge difference in my life and my career. But he would make me practice breakouts. And it was like a science, like hard back to the, looking over your shoulder, head on a swivel. Where's the breakout, guys? And it was just fire right to the hash marks on the boards, and that's where the forward was going to be. And that became a staple of my career. It was a huge thing. Just for defensive defensemen, it isn't just about stopping the other team; it's about getting the puck out of your zone quickly too.
Outlet pass.
Yeah,
and the most important part of it.
Yeah, and I got sent to the minors at the end of my career when I hurt my back. They played a couple of games in Phoenix, and I was awful because I was just it was an automatic that guy was going to be on the boards at the NHL level. The minor league guys just weren't there. They just haven't learned that yet,
Yeah.
And so I've been fired up the boards, and the guys are coming to said, "How long did you play in the NHL?" Guys are laughing at me.
It's funny. With the Warriors, they're all beginner hockey players for most part. We had one or two guys that actually played hockey. And when you run a practice, you got to really keep it simple. But the thing is, when you keep it that simple, it's actually the way the game's supposed to be played.
100%. Yes.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I learned. Just make a simple play. Make that 10-foot pass.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make that 50-foot pass, make the 10-foot pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Support the puck.
Yeah. What are the Rangers? I have not seen the Rangers alternate journeys yet. Have you? You saw them last night, right?
Yeah, close up, I thought they were cool because they had the logo, the logo on. But from afar, it looked like Columbus out there.
Is that right?
It's a very similar color to their away uniform. Yeah.
Rangers are on fire too, man.
I'll tell you what, there's so much talent on that team, Tom.
Well, I think getting that Jonathan Quick has really helped them too, right? Yeah. We did a podcast with Luke Robitaille, the president of the LA Kings. He said it's the best team players ever ever seen.
Yeah. He made some glove saves last night. A couple that he was sprawled where he just.
It's pretty cool if you think about it. Like he won 2 cups there with the Kings. So he's playing against the Kings last night back in his home area. He's from Connecticut. So there was
I mean, he's 37. So I guess I thought, well, they brought him in to be in the room with the kid.
Yeah.
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 He's out playing the kid right now, kind of.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, she's Durkin.
Yeah.
Susan Burst does not like the crest. She thinks it's too big on the Rangers jersey.
Yeah, it gets back to marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they spent some money on the marketing there to make sure.
Yeah.
Where's my chicken? Where's my chicken? Here he is. Oh, how'd you feel about the 1 p.m. games? Loved them. Yeah, sitting around all day for the late games. It was all right. It wasn't anything wrong with it, but let's get playing. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way, let's talk about the back-to-back.
Yeah.
So, you and I and Mr. Duffy have spoke about this numerous times.
Yes.
Of course, there wasn't travel involved.
Right.
I mean, it was a little, Washington, New York's not a big, it's a bus ride or a train ride, but still back to back, and they got plastered Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And they came back totally.
Yeah. It's such
LA's a good team.
It's such a psychological thing too. It's just, I think they say, well, the numbers bear it out. Well, yeah, because they keep telling the players all the time that you're going to be tired of the second night. So they,
Zig Ziglar, who is a very motivational speaker, and he said, yeah, we are so negative, and we've talked about, it's a green light as much as it's a red light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what I noticed last night was that they seem to have just written off Saturday, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Because something else I found out is that your testosterone level actually decreases when you lose.
Really?
Psychologically,
Wow.
yeah. When you win, it increases.
Yeah.
So that's why when you get on a roll, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I didn't realize Lindgren's brother played for the Caps. I had no idea he had a brother in the NHL.
I know. I didn't either. I saw that picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Chicago such a soap opera? It does seem to be, doesn't it? Stuff happens there.
Something's going on there.
Yeah. They say now that the HR department, so when they let Corey Perry go because of his incident, the HR department stepped up and it said, listen, this is the way we're doing it. Went in and told the coach, didn't tell him anything that happened. That Luke Richardson just told him he was gone, and they did not give him any other details. And they said, we're not talking about it because they're more taking the stance. Listen, legally we can't. It's a private matter, and we can't talk about it. So
I mean, there's good and bad to that. I think Richardson should have known, like what's going on. Maybe so he could be aware of it with other players. What did it have to do with Chelios, his daughter, or something?
Is that who it was? Oh.
That's what I heard. That's the true story.
Oh wow! So she's working for the team.
Yeah, she's with the broadcast.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it was some kind of. And I may be wrong, but that's what I heard might be what it was.
Wow. Yeah. And Corey Perry, I admired the guy too. The career he's had, the winning, the places he's gone, winner.
Yeah, and it looks like he's out of a job now, which is awful.
Yeah, I guess it's at the end of his career, anyways. But he's got a family at home too, so man, bad decisions.
So I'm going to the game Wednesday in New Jersey because a guy I coached junior with, Dave Lorai, his son is up. He was Boston's first pick, second round, 2 years ago, I think. Played at Ohio State, and his son's up. So he's going to be playing here in New Jersey. So I'm going to meet him for the game.
All right, I need you, this is going to be our last subject here, and I need your opinion here. You're going to make the last call. So I typically on Christmas and Thanksgiving have the turkey dinner. Mm-hmm. Should I make a change to like a roast, like a prime rib roast?
Yeah, well, that's what we do on Christmas.
Oh,
man. Yeah.
How do you cook yours? Somebody was saying you go really high heat for about 30 minutes.
I believe that's the way to do it.
And you go really low for another 2 hours or something like that.
So we'll have that. I make green beans with onion. Oh. It's kind of, and then parsnips.
Parsnips. What's a parsnip?
It's a root vegetable. It's kind of bland tasting. It's not got a lot of flavor, but it's good. And then of course, potatoes and.
Do you bake potatoes?
No, generally speaking, we roast them.
Oh, you roast them, okay.
Yeah.
No mash? Not mashed?
No, I mean, when I was a kid, my mother, that was like
throw that
pile.
Throw that butter and sour cream in there. Oh, garlic salt.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if I've ever made a prime rib roast.
Give it a try.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes. Can't go to Costco though. It's too big. Too much. Too big.
Yeah, you're better off going to a local meat.
Yeah.
You can tell him exactly what you want, and he'll do it for you.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the call.
He'll handle your meat.
And what about desserts or anything like that? So now I was going with apple pie. Do you do that with the
pie? Generally speaking, it's an apple pie or something like that. Yeah,
raspberry pie. Okay, all right, that's the call. All right, everybody. Again, the holidays are upon us, and 988's that suicide prevention hotline, the mental health hotline, and it's really important that we all help each other out, reach out to people, and make sure everybody's okay. Just go to your way just to see somebody, whether they look good or not. Just say, "Listen, you okay? You need help."
Right. So all it takes.
Right. And again, one of the big debates, I think we've talked about this in the past, is sometimes people think you're kind of planting a seed if you say to somebody, "Listen, are you contemplating hurting yourself?" And we don't believe that's accurate at all.
No.
I think it's important.
They'll tell you how things are. Yeah.
So help everybody else out. All right, everybody. We'll have a great week. We'll see you next week. And the stream. Hold on a second here. Let me end this.